clicking on this Smashy Smashy Eggman movie reviews and more video. I am Martin Prevost. Thank you for joining us. We're talking unconventional Christmas movies, great movies that are Christmas themed, but not normally Christmas themed. We're not talking It's a Wonderful Life. We're talking the unconventional movies. Last week we talked Batman Returns, a great unconventional Christmas movie. This week we talk about one of my favorite unconventional Christmas movies. It is Kiss Kiss, Bang Bang. If you are an Iron Man fan, a Robert Downey Jr. fan, then this is the movie for you, because this is the movie that got Robert Downey Jr. the Iron Man role. This movie right here. Nothing else he's ever done. It is this movie. Kevin Feige confirms it, as is Jon Favreau. It is Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. This is the reason Tony Stark is Robert Downey Jr. And it's a great movie. I love this movie. It is so much fun. You also have Val Kilmer, who is acting his ass off in this movie as well. But yeah, it's written and directed by Shane Black, who wrote The Predator, Lethal Weapon, The Nice Guys, which he also directed. He wrote and directed Iron Man 3. So he's got a good credit list on him. And this is just a stupid action comedy. And it's just so much fun. Now, we'll get to the Christmas, because it is Christmas. Right away, actually, we'll get to Christmas real quick. So, the entire movie is narrated by Robert Downey Jr.'s character, who is our main protagonist. He is the person we follow through this entire movie. I don't think there is any moment that he is not in this movie, because one, he is the narrator, and therefore he can only narrate things he was a part of. Because he's a very honest narrator. You can trust him for the most part, though you know he probably is, like, sugarcoating and or embellishing certain aspects of this story just because. We start off watching as a kid performs a magic trick with a little girl who proclaims she is going to be an actress. We are not given much context at this moment, though later in the film, Robert Downey Jr. demands that he is a bad narrator for not actually telling you that he was the kid who was the magician, and the girl is what's her name? Michelle Monaghan, who is also in this movie, and she's the little girl because they knew each other growing up. So it's just this kind of throwaway opening that then Robert Downey Jr. later, as the narrator, beats himself up over. Like, why? What was the point of that? Like, I didn't even explain what was going on. I think there's an old couple in the frame who he tells to move. It is so good. It is so good. So anyways, in the present, Robert Downey Jr. is a thief in New York who is going to steal Christmas presents for his niece and or nephew. I can't remember which one it is. It is such a minor thing. But he's going to steal Christmas presents. Eventually, the security alarm gets tripped. Him and his partner run for it. His partner eventually gets shot by a neighbor who has a gun. He ends up hiding in a movie audition where he uses the emotion of what just happened because the lines he's reading are so similar to what just happened that he gets very emotional. And the movie exec decides, you know what? Yeah, we're going to screen test you. So he's going to get flown out to LA, go to some parties, get a detective coach because he's making a detective movie, and is going to screen test for this role. So we now cut to a party, and it's a party being thrown by a big Hollywood bigwig who used to be an actor and is now a producer. And he's played by Corbin Burnson. Corbin Burnson, and again, you get some great narration throughout this movie as, like, pointing out, like, oh, why was that scene there? Why was this dialogue here? Like, I wonder if that's going to come back. It is a lot of fun. And it's Robert Downey Jr. He's at this party. He eventually sees Michelle Monaghan, but he doesn't recognize her right away. He tries to defend her because she's passed out in a room, and he ends up getting his ass kicked by the guy who attempted to rape Michelle Monaghan. He gets beaten up by him, and she ends up leaving with him, but she dumps him sometime in the night. Um, you also meet Val Kilmer, who plays Gay Perret, who is the detective coach. He is a private investigator who is going to take Robert Downey Jr. out on a stakeout, basically, watch and click, camera, click, 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 click. He's going to take him out to kind of give him his private investigation lessons the next night. You also get some great, just Val Kilmer in this movie is amazing. He's talking about the host and his daughter, and that they have been having problems, but they have since worked it out. And one of the best lines he gives in this scene is, he called her a bad word, cunt. And it's like, just because just the delivery of it. He called her a bad word, slight pause, and then he just says it. Like, it's such good delivery. So, we move on. It is the next night. They're now out doing their investigation. This movie is also broken into chapters because of a series of crime novels that both Michelle Monaghan and Robert Downey Jr. characters used to read, called Johnny Gossamer, who always had multiple chapters. He always had two clients that ended up being the same case. And this is all the themes of this movie. This is what this movie is. It is, this old crime novel coming to life for these characters. As they're going to do this investigation, they see two men dragging a body into a car and driving it off a cliff into a river. They go to try to save her. A gun is fired, and you find out to open the trunk, and you see that the woman is dead. She's been strangled, but now there's also a bullet wound in her head. So they can't be connected to it. Robert Downey Jr. whips Val Kilmer's gun into the river, which Val Kilmer then chastises him for, because the gun is licensed to him, and therefore they can still track him with that gun when they drag the river. And it was a special gift from his mother. They then move into town, where Robert Downey Jr. finds in his hotel room the dead lady, where the dead person, while he's peeing, and then he pees on the dead person, which he then tries to explain. He mentions it when he calls Val Kilmer, I peed on the dead body. Why did you pee on the dead body? It's some great dialogue and some great exchanges. They then have to remove the body, so it's not in Robert Downey Jr.'s room, who also has to find the gun, which they clearly have planted in the room as well. You then start to piece things together as you find out the body is actually that of Corbin Burnsen's daughter, and that she was about to meet her ex-boyfriend who was coming in for the holidays, and they start piecing the crime together. Michelle Monaghan kind of jumps in as well, as she reveals that she is an old friend of Robert Downey Jr., and they move forward, and it's just a great movie. And it's such a hard movie to go over beat by beat, just because there is so much great dialogue and hilarious acting. And you do find out there are two cases. You have the case of the dead girl, but you also have the case that put Val Kilmer and Robert Downey Jr. in the vicinity of the dead girl, which you find out is Michelle Monaghan's sister, who hired Val Kilmer, who's also now been found dead. You find out these two cases are linked through Corbin Burnsen. And it's just a great movie. And again, Robert Downey Jr. and Val Kilmer are acting their asses off in this movie, and they are just hilarious. They are a hilarious double act. So again, the only Christmas thing I mentioned was he's stealing Christmas presents. Woo, Christmas! But no, there's also Christmas parties in this movie. It takes place in LA, so it doesn't look Christmassy, but there's a lot of references to the fact that it is Christmas, because Shane Black loves setting his stories at or around, Lethal Weapon is set around Christmas, Iron Man 3 is set around Christmas, The New Guys ends on Christmas, or The Nice Guys, sorry. The Nice Guys end on Christmas. Shane Black likes Christmas themes, and this movie is no different. It has it, just kind of built into it. And again, it's unconventional. I wouldn't say, watch this with It's a Wonderful Life. If you want to hear my thoughts on It's a Wonderful Life, go back a year when I was reviewing Christmas movies I had never seen before. I didn't care for it. I have a lot to say about it. But it's considered a Christmas classic, so screw it. But yeah, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. I love this movie. It is a great comedy. I was first exposed to it my 4th year of college. I had a roommate. The day I moved in to our apartment, he went, "You have to watch this movie." And it was Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. And I was dead tired because I had spent all day moving my furniture and all my stuff into this apartment. And he's like, yeah, no, we have to watch this movie. So he puts it on, and I'm half awake, but I'm enjoying everything that's going on so much that I stayed awake for the entire movie, and I just laughed my ass off to the point where I went and got a copy of it sometime shortly after, so I could just enjoy it whenever I want. And again, because it has the Christmas themes to it, I like throwing it in during the Christmas season. It's a fun movie, it's a great movie, and I highly recommend Kiss Kiss Bang Bang if you've never seen it before. It is just such a fun film. Alright, well, this has been Smashy Smashy Eggman Movie Reviews and more. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss any content. Next week, we have the final week of Unconventional Christmas, but of course that takes place after December 25th, so Merry Christmas. It's a couple of days in advance, but Merry Christmas to everyone who's watching. I hope you have a great one. Spend some time with family, eat good food, and, you know, just make it a happy holiday. I will talk to you next week. Have a good one.